Hi there, how are you? I trust you are well. Of course, this is Mischa Duffy, and today I am interviewing Charles Bibbs. He's a world-renowned artist. He paints some of the most amazing paintings and drawings you've ever seen. I had the pleasure of interviewing him last year, the end of last year, and I look forward to our conversation in just a few moments. Let's hear what he has to say. How are you doing?
Well, we're doing, in light of everything that's going on around us, we're doing.
Yeah, and that is the truth, right? In light of everything that's going on around us. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you was because, well, a couple of reasons. One was because, of course, when we met last year, when we did our interview for the magazine, it was
Right.
such a great time. I learned so much from you. As I said to you, I felt like I was in history class all over again because you shared so much. And so, during these challenging times, whether it's the virus of COVID-19 or the virus of racism that's really wreaking havoc, I wanted
Uh,
you to speak to the world about your thoughts on it all because there's something to be said about the voice of wisdom and you have a lot of it. So I wanted
oh,
to
thank
start
you.
off by just asking you what has been going through your mind as you look at all that's transpiring all over the world, literally,
Right.
as a response to the killing of George Floyd. We're answering
Yeah.
the question about how everything that's going on is landing on you right now.
Right. Right. Well, like I said, it's just like waking up one morning, the sky is no longer blue,
Mm,
and so you have to make immediate adjustments. But at the same time, as an artist, I have a responsibility to mirror what's happening in the world. Okay, so my challenge was to look into the situation and see how I can help people deal with it artistically.
mm,
Okay, because like writers, your charge is to document history. An artist, my charge is to paint about it. Okay, so when the pandemic hit, I had to evaluate what has changed. The things that have changed in most people's lives is that we can no longer touch each other. We can no longer feel each other. Okay, so what profound effect does that have on society as a whole? So I reached into myself. So the simple things like when my granddaughter comes over, okay, I can no longer greet her the way I'm accustomed of greeting. Okay, then I analyze this whole pandemic thing, and it seems like every time there's a pandemic, it learns. It's almost like it's got a mind of its own. And
mm,
this time, it wants to hide itself in our youth.
mm.
And it also wants to attack the vulnerable, okay, the less privileged, okay? And that's why African Americans are more acceptable to this pandemic than others.
Yes.
But it hides itself in things that we love, like our youth.
Wow.
And I says that's an amazing thing. So the first piece I did related to this pandemic was naturally an image of a person with a mask,
Yes.
okay, and then some words, some trying to connect it with some profound words that kind of explains it all. And I did another piece in that what is the world like when you can't touch? What is the world like
Mm.
when you question people when you walk in your everyday environment? Is that person a carrier?
Mm.
Okay. What happens? It's just like a situation when my son was in a store and a lady sneezed. Everybody panicked over a
Wow.
sneeze. So that was artistically, I came up with a lot of pieces. I'm working on pieces now
I'm
as we
sure.
speak on things that we have to deal with. And now we're back into our homes. What's a good thing about for me is that stage where you're at in your home, is where I live, because the product that I produce end up in your home.
That's right.
So you're spending more time in that environment. Now it's a place where you exist probably 80% of your day. Okay. So because of this, it created a phenomena for us, because we thought because of this pandemic, people were going to go into themselves and not participate in the things around them.
Okay.
But we were wrong.
Mm.
The phone started to ring.
Yeah.
Okay. And people wanted to know, I've always wanted this. I want it now because I need it. Okay. I need things in my home that can inspire me.
Yes.
And these are things, and I says, wow.
Exactly. And when you talk about the inspiration of it all, as you talked about the COVID and how that has changed us. I also wanted to know your thoughts around how those of us who are challenged by what we see as a response to, or what we see from the killing of George Floyd, how we can be inspired to not let that get the best of us.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's not to us that experience that. It's not a surprise when things like this happen.
Okay.
But I think things are changing technologically, allows us to be more aware. Just think, 40 years ago, you would have never had people walking down the streets with cell phones and taking pictures.
That's right.
Okay. So technology is working in our favor, okay, in terms of where it removes the lies and it allows us to deal more with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself served us, okay? And it's not a situation where is you say and I say, and there's no truth in between. There's a lot of truth in this.
Yes.
Okay. And now it forces the victims and the perpetrators to face it. Okay. Because there's no denying it.
Right.
And I see even today, when they did the autopsy, there was discussion on ways that they can even attempt to get around the truth.
Yes.
Okay. But they can't.
Yeah, I saw that the results of the independent autopsy was asphyxiation, whereas last week, the one that the police department or whomever did, the state did, the city of Minneapolis said that it was not. So to your point, it's so important that the truth that's in between is acknowledged and really, really looked into. I wanted to know, art inspires you, and how did you come to the place of knowing that that was your thing, right? It's so important that we all do what we know we were called and purposed here to do. How did you know that that was your thing?
Well, it took me a long time to find my purpose, okay? Because as a young boy, I didn't have a whole lot of role models. So I'm from old school. We didn't have any middle class, upper middle class, doing well African American artists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there was a few that were making a name for themselves. Okay, but it wasn't enough to say, man, I want to be an artist.
Yes.
Okay, so what we had to do is really, if you want to do something, if you wanted to sing and be a popular musician, or you wanted to be a popular artist, anything in the arts took some well planning, and you better had your act together.
Yes.
Okay, because if you spend the time to develop, the trade-off of that is failure. And with failure would encompass the time that you put in yourself to get to the level where you can be competitive at something. And then if you don't make it, then all that time is wasted.
Yes.
Okay. So, but if you're studying to be a doctor, that's a little different. You're not up against an audience that's going to make you or break you.
Yeah.
Okay. As an artist, your art will make you or break you. Okay. So that was a little different. So I spent almost 40 years doing other things that would make me successful as an individual, make me successful in terms of, raising a family and all those things. Okay, the art was something that I knew how to do and had a passion for it, but it wasn't something that I was totally convinced that I can make a living at it.
And if you don't mind, could you share with us, because I love this story about your father, when you told your father you were going to be an artist, and he also wasn't as convinced either, right?
No.
Could you quickly share with us the story of your father not being convinced?
Yeah, my father told me the only artist he knows, they call them starving artists. And he says, no son of mine was gonna starve.
Yes.
So he told me to go out and you find me a black man. Okay. And son, I told you what success is, and don't play games with me.
Right.
Okay. So I went out and went to the library, and I struggled to find these people. And I found a few, and I brought those names back to and I'm not going to mention any names because they're very popular now, these artists. And I showed them to him. He says, then he started asking me questions about them. He says, are they married? He says, can they buy a home? And he says, can they send their kids to college? He was drilling me with all these basic things that were so important to him in his life as a man, as an uneducated man from the South, who worked hard and didn't play when it comes to providing. There was 8 of us. Can you imagine raising 8 kids today?
Wow, exactly. Raising 2. I can attest to having raised 2, and I know what that was like. I can imagine 8.
8 of us back in the, back in the 60s, the turbulent 60s.
Yes.
Okay. But he convinced me that unless I can prove to him that it's a viable way to go, he wouldn't recommend it. So I didn't. But I went to college and all that, and used my art to maintain my grade point average. Because I knew I can ace any class in art. But I always had it on the side.
Unlike me, that would not have been a class that I.
So art was my minor. But I went through corporate America. I had this gift of leadership, and I knew God had given me this gift to lead people. And all the jobs that I've had for major corporations like Mattel Toys, Chicken of the Sea Tuna, Boeing Aircraft, okay? I spent 35 years in corporate America in management, okay? So I knew how the market of sales. And I think God has a way of preparing you to do his work.
That is so true.
And his work is always what you want to do in your heart. Okay? Because if he gives you a gift, he meant for you to practice that gift in your life. Okay, if you have a gift to sing, you were meant to be a singer. If you had a gift in science, you were meant to be a science. If you had a gift to heal people, you're meant to be a doctor. I had a gift of art, but it took me 30 years to find that out because of the life struggles in situations. Okay, but by the grace of God, I did. I did, because I never lost that focus. But I knew that there was a message somewhere, and I was being groomed to be that artist. But I had to understand how to survive as an artist. Okay, because there wasn't a whole lot of role models that I can follow behind.
And so
Okay,
is that why you take so seriously your call to mentor? Like
that's it.
you are a guy who does a lot of mentoring of aspiring artists.
But you know what? I also had that gift of listening
Mm.
and watching. Okay, when me and my wife got into the art game, okay, we did it very methodically. Okay, where I says, okay, I'm not going to just be an artist. I'm going to create a corporation around me. We're going to hire people to do certain things. We're gonna also get into understanding the need. Where is the need? And in order to properly participate in a business, you have to understand the business applications of that.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're going to create a product called art, and see the things that I did understand about the product of art, that nobody was doing it in a business way. Okay. So I had to figure out from all the things that I know in corporate America, how can I apply those things to art? So every step that I did with a business plan and did all those things methodically. Okay. And there were publishers and distributors. I started manipulating with art publishers and distributors. Okay. But I not only said I'm going to publish my work, but I'm going to publish other artists too.
Okay.
Okay. Because what that did was give me a variety of products, okay, to distribute. Okay. I didn't want to be a singular production, okay, because people have choices. Okay.
Yeah.
A Bibbs product is only one product. But if I can take young artists and pull them into this industry, okay, and help them become successful, then I think we have a bigger impact. And our focus and our purpose becomes more meaningful.
Amen.
And I didn't want to do it selfishly, where it's all about me. Okay, so that's why we have our 2000 Visual Artists Association, a 501(c), okay, which his purpose is to train artists how to be successful versus fame.
Amen. Amen.
Okay.
Because fame can be very fleeting for certain.
Yes.
And the other thing is, if you're not sure what to do with it, you can lose it as quickly as you attain it.
Yes.
For sure.
And one thing that I did learn, and there was only a few artists at that time, when Cosby came along with the Cosby Show.
Yes.
Okay. He set off a phenomena that went nationwide among Black families. Okay. This is you have to understand the power of what he did. I don't even know if he realized what he did. But here's a an upper middle class family, kids in the household. Okay. They had the husband and the wife were successful. Okay. And they had a nice home, and they had unique images on the wall that mirrored who they were.
That's
they had
right.
African American art.
Yeah.
So you had millions of Black families watching this program. And guess what happened?
What happened?
A phenomenon happened at that moment in time. People started calling the studios and saying, where can I get the pictures on the wall? And that opened up a big opportunity for artists like me.
Yes.
And we grabbed that opportunity and we held on tight. And we cut and sliced that in every way imaginable. Okay. By the time we were done, we had, and when I say we, I'm talking about maybe a few thousand people throughout the United States, African Americans, who saw the same vision. And we created a $5 billion industry selling reproductions
Wow.
of African American art, not original art. We sold reproduction, which is, we later coined the term affordable art.
Okay.
Okay. For generations, Black people only had, when I was raised up, you probably too young to know this. When I was raised up, the only pictures we had on the wall was Martin Luther King and a white Jesus Christ.
I remember those days.
Okay.
I remember those days.
And a whole lot of family photos.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
There you go. Now, and then we knew about African American art, but there's only one place you can go to see it, and that was in a museum. Knowing good and well you couldn't take none of that home.
Right, right.
And see, there's a subconscious power in imagery, okay? Especially if it's positive. Can you imagine a child raised up in an environment in the home where they had a picture, say, of the civil rights struggle?
Okay.
Maybe an artist did something about the civil rights struggle, okay? And he chronicalized the civil rights struggle. And you have this 2-year-old in the home, and he sees that every day, not understanding what it is. But when he's 6 years old, he'll come to dad or mom and he'll say, "What's that, daddy?" Now you can get into a dialogue with that child and give him a history lesson based on an imagery in the home.
Because it is true that exposure is everything. It is also true, there's this saying, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So it's really important, to your point, that our children, any of us actually, be able to see on a consistent basis who we are and who we have the potential to be. That said, I want to know, who is your favorite artist?
Oh, I have many favorite artists.
Okay. Can you give us a couple?
Well, Charles White is one of my favorite, because his power that he eluded in his work. Okay, he was a very disciplined artist. Okay, he didn't see his power until later in his career. And I think that's the difference that I understood. Okay, he represented somebody that, regardless of the success that was available for him at that time, regardless of that, he was going to be the best artist he could be. See, where I didn't do that, okay, because I wanted to be a successful artist. I wanted to be not just a good tactician, okay, I want to be a successful artist in that field. And that successful artist, that had nothing to do with fame. It has everything to do with my pattern of life. How well can I exist in this whole pattern of life that we structured? I mean, get up in the morning, go to work, okay, get all the things that my family need, okay, send my kids to college. That was the main thing, okay, and I wasn't going to let fame get in the way of that, because with fame, if you can't reach it, it's such a big disappointment. Okay, and plus, when you're at the top of your game and you're that one famous person, you got to watch it back, because it's fleeting.
That's right.
Okay, you take a basketball player, when he no longer can hit a 3-pointer from 30 feet out or a slam dunk. There's a lot of young kids that can do the same, and they're ready to take his place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was looking for longevity. Okay. I was looking for a way to participate in a life struggle artistically and not have to worry about, whether I'm going to fail or succeed. Okay. I want to do the work, do it the best I can, and help as many people I can on the way.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. You call yourself a keeper of the culture, which was inspired by one of your pictures called Keeper. Is that what you just described to us, you being a keeper of the culture?
Yeah, and I think that's what I learned. Okay, that the important thing the best thing that we can do for our youth is chronicleize who we are.
I agree. I say it all the time with books. I tell everybody, you got to write a book because it's so important to leave a part of your history behind.
That's right. You can sing it, you can write about it, you can paint about it.
You can paint it. That's right. That's right.
And they're all documentations of who, and they're all documentations of who we are.
That's right.
So, but I looked at all that as a product as well. Okay. And the best products are planned the best. Okay. You have to understand your market. You have to understand the need. You can't just go out there just because you can sing. Okay. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful. It's what you sing about and how you do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So same with painting, same with being a doctor, anything that you do. There's one thing that you cannot change. Anything that you do in life is to service your fellow man. It's not to service you. You name me a job that doesn't service the man next to you.
Wow. Wow.
See, a lot of people forget that. It's not yours. You've been given a gift to serve.
That's right.
To serve your fellow man. If you can do that well enough, your rewards will be there.
No question about it. And the rewards are so
the better you do it, the more rewards you're gonna get.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. And you gotta love what you do. You have to have a passion about it. The problem with life today is that there's too many people not experiencing their passion. Okay, they're doing what's necessary to survive.
Yeah.
Okay. And being able to practice your passion is a gift.
Yeah.
And I think it's a gift from God. Okay, because the diagrams for success is there. Okay. Now, will life allow you to participate in that? It really depends on you. It really depends on the decisions you make. Okay, but if you do something well enough, there's always going to be rewards.
And you know what else? When you do something well enough, there will always be room. The Bible says that your gift will make room for you. And I don't care how many artists there were before Charles Bibbs, there was still room for you. Just like there will be room for others to come. I want to ask you two closing questions. One would be, what would be your advice to an aspiring artist who's, just trying to figure it out, who has been drawing unofficially for a while, maybe feeling a little bit discouraged that their stuff doesn't meet up to everybody else's? What would be your inspiration or your words of inspiration to them today?
Okay, you ain't gonna believe what I'm about to tell you.
I'm ready.
All right. It's really simple.
Okay.
Is be watchful and understand the change in society. Okay. God in his infinite wisdom gives man the ability to improve things.
Okay.
Okay. When Ford created the automobile, okay, he said one thing. He says, I want to create something that's going to help everybody. He said, I can create this car for just the rich and famous, but he wanted to create something that the average person can enjoy. Okay. Now, and look where we are today. if you don't have a car, it'll be very difficult to survive in our society. Listen to the changes. One of the biggest problems for artists is to find people or find their, what we call in business, their market niche. Okay? Too many artists are fighting over the same market niche. God has given you something special.
Amen.
Okay? He also provided a way to find that market niche. There are 8 billion people on the earth, 8 billion, and it's rising. Last time I heard, 80% or 85% of them are already connected to the internet. They're already logged in.
Plugged in.
Okay. Now, we had 3,000 dealers across the United States that sold art, and I was a part of that distribution. Okay. One day, websites came up, and people panicked, and they says, you can't have a website because that's violation of the code of business. Okay. And I said, well, isn't the code of business is to anytime you can remove the middleman, your profit margins go up? He says, you cannot defy progress. Whenever progress moves, you got to get on that train. If you don't get on that train, you're going to be left behind. Here's a scenario that a lot of artists are slowly getting to this. That beautiful blue dress shirt you have there, you had to go out and buy that, right?
Yes, sir.
How many hours and how much gas did you spend to buy that? Is your time valuable?
Absolutely.
Our society is creating things to change and save time for the average person. Okay, Amazon, for example, okay, is changing the world. Okay, to the fact that it's almost closing malls. Because if I had to go and buy a wardrobe, I know how much time I'm going to spend. But now I can sit at home and order anything I need. It'll be at my door the next day. I can try it on and send it back for nothing. So now, for years, we thought that a gallery was going to be your salvation as an artist.
Yes.
These small little spots in our community that can only hold 50 people at a time. And there's no guarantee that they're going to sell anything for you. But you got all your work tied up in there. I got in a lot of trouble for making a statement in an industry that depend on these dealers. I says, eventually they're going to be unnecessary to be successful.
Wow.
Oh, why did I say that? I upset a lot of people, but it had to be said. Okay. I was one of the first artists to get a website and started doing direct business to the direct to the public. Okay. I still practice my business with dealers and galleries. Okay. But I knew that it's only a matter of time that the way we look as a society was going to change. And super malls were going to slowly dissolve. Places like Sears are going to close, JCPenney's, all of them. Okay. And then everybody be ordering things online.
Wow.
We're almost there now.
We're almost there, but you know what? We're really there with respect to what COVID did, because it shut down malls. It shut down your JCPenney's. It shut down the places where you could go and buy. And if you didn't have something virtually, or if you don't have something virtually going on, then you were really out of luck, because that's where everything went. So, you know, you talk about me calling you a man of wisdom. You saw this a long time ago. You may not have seen the cause of it, but certainly we are here right this very moment, which takes me into my next question. Do you have anything coming up virtually that our audience could tap into and look forward to? You have any virtual?
We're planning that now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're planning that now.
Okay.
I have a lot of my peers are already selling art virtually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've been a little slow on getting on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been very busy.
Yeah, your wife was telling me.
With the status quo. But believe me, I'm not gonna get trapped in anything that's gonna be passe.
Yes.
Okay, because our society is changing at a clip that is hard to keep up with. Yeah. And you notice once change takes over, it doesn't stay around long. It evolves.
That's right. That's right.
So the thing that for business people, and I'm not no different. People think just because you're an artist, you're not, and you can't practice those business acumens. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing that can destroy you. Mm-hmm. You gotta pay attention. Yeah. You gotta operate like a business, even if it's art, even if it's something that comes from the soul. Mm-hmm. That can be marketed and traded on a network where you can reach millions and millions and millions of people. Okay. Amen. And that is the secret of success in our society. And the thing is, you got to be constantly on it, because if it's this way today, it's not going to stay that way.
Oh my goodness. You are so right.
That's it. And that's the secret. That's what I tell young artists all the time. These young artists, they know they have been raised from a child, okay, on computer applications and what have you. Mm-hmm. They know this thing like it's second nature to them, okay? And I used to get excited and amazed when I go into a restaurant and I see this child. What they use to keep that child occupied, they got a little portable TV at the TV, or a cell phone or a mini computer. Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. And I said, that's a testament to where we're going. Success is only as big as you can dream. Yeah, yeah. Okay. If you can dream it, you can make it a reality now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to ask you for my last question. I believe that gratitude changes everything, and it makes your life brighter and bigger and richer. What are you most grateful for today?
I'm grateful for understanding how God works. I'm grateful for that mostly because I think life is not that complicated, okay? Each and every one of us, according to our DNA and God's wisdom, you have a specialty. He doesn't make mistakes, okay? He knows he needs so many lawyers to make this whole thing called humanity works. You just got to understand what your calling is, what your gift is.
That's right.
Okay, your gift in life will make life a lot more easy for you because you're gonna see if you follow your gift. Yeah, that's your source of happiness.
Say that again. Okay. Absolutely, you can say that again.
And it doesn't give you no regrets. You don't have any regrets when you follow your gift.
That is right.
Can you imagine what it would be like for me if I knew I had this talent and I was a plumber?
Wow.
Because I became a plumber because I had to pay my bills. Right. See, but that's a reality in life. But I think you have choices, and I think our youth are learning that value. Okay, a lot of times when I was growing up, you had no choice. You had some situations you had to take whatever was out there available for you, regardless of what you really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that doesn't exist anymore. There is no excuse for you taking hold of your dreams and being successful doing it.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. And is there anything else you want to share with us so that we can keep up with you? I know I want to say
you don't have enough time for that.
I know, right? But look, I want to say to folks that they can certainly go to your website at cbibbs.com. That's cbibbs.com to purchase, to see all of the art. You also post on there different things that you're doing. So we invite individuals to go and check out your work. And I look forward to just seeing all of the wonderful things that's coming up. As you said, you're working on some pieces. So I certainly look forward to seeing some of the great stuff that you're doing. Thank you so much, Mr. Bibbs.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing all this on this great technology. I love this.
Amen. And I'll send, I'm going to send you this our conversation so that way you can share it and post it as well.
Okay, and I'm looking forward to working on our next project.
Yes, I cannot hardly wait. Your wife and I talk about it from time to time, but yes, I'm looking forward to that.
All right, sweetie.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Was he not a breath of fresh air? I love Mr. Bibbs. He has so much to say, so many great things to say, actually, not just something to say, because there are some people who like to talk just to talk, but he always has great things to say. And so I hope that you were encouraged and inspired by what he had to say, especially when he talked about just paying attention and letting your gift make room for you, which is so important, especially in these days and times when people have lost their jobs and people are trying to figure it out. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take good care. Bye-bye.